Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on this look right here for you guys. It's just a nice warm burgundy bronzy smoky eye here with a little bit of shimmer on the inner corner, and had a lot of fun filming this for you today, you guys. I actually used the Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy palette to complete this look today, and I actually paired it with one of her liquid lips as well. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so I actually have already primed my lids and set them with a shadow as well, so we're just going to jump right into the eyes. So today I'm going to be using the Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy palette. It looks like this, just nice warm tones and a lot of nice shimmers. And I haven't really played with this much, so it'll just kind of be like a nice little first impressions too of her shadows. Alright, so first I'm just going to pick up a Morphe R37, it's just a nice big fluffy brush, and I'm going to pick up this shade right here for our first transition shade. It's actually the shade Beach. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that right into the crease, just in windshield wiper motions. And I don't want to be like super precise. I like a nice blown out look when I do looks like this, so just kind of let the product go where it will. It's okay if it gets on the lid or, you know, a little too high. That's okay, because we can just clean all of that up in a bit anyway. That's why I love this brush so much, because it's just nice and big and fluffy, and so it just does the job so well in everything that I want it to do for my first transition shade. So the next shade I'm going to use, I'm actually going to pick it up on this Elizabeth Mott blending brush right here. This is the shade Naked. I'm just going to pick up a nice amount, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go right over that shade we just did. Whoa. That is pigmented. So I'm going to pick up the first brush we used, that R37, and blend that out a little bit better instead of add the rest of the product that was still on that brush. So I'm going to do circular motions also, just to kind of blow that product out a little bit more so it's not so crazy. So now I know not to pick up as much this time around. Tap off the excess a little bit, go in and do the same thing. Just right over that first transition shade that we just applied. So now I'm going to go in with the Morphe M433 brush. It's just a nice brush to pack on some color. And I think I'm going to pick up this shade right here. This is the shade Almond. And I'm going to pack that into our outer corner here. So it looks a little bit messy, so I'm going to go in back with that first brush we used, the R37. I'm just going to buff it out so there's no harsh edges or anything like that, and I didn't add any more product on my brush. If there's a little bit left of what we originally used, that's okay. I think I'm going to deepen this one out just a little bit more and pack it on. When you're dealing with dark colors in the outer corner, you don't want to buff them out or anything like that, move the product around. You want to just tap it around, because that's where you're going to get the most color payoff. But now that we did that, I'm going to grab another fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M441, and it's not as fluffy as the other ones. This one is a little more stiff, which I like for what we're about to do here. I'm going to grab the shade Brick, and this is like a deep brownish shade. I'm going to grab a little bit of that and tap off the excess, and I'm just going to put it in the outer V, just to build a little bit of definition into the outer corner. Just a little bit extra. Alright, I'm going to go back in with that first fluffy brush we used, the R37. I'm going to buff out those edges again, so no harsh lines. I'm actually going to dip in with that same brush and back into that Beach shade, the first transition shade that we used. I'm going to go over it just a little bit. Just add a little bit, not a lot. So I feel like we lost a bit of that color, and I kind of like that there. Okay, so now to pack on that shimmer shade, I'm going to use this shade right here. This is the shade Dubai. It's like a nice yellowish gold. So to do that, to get the most intensity out of that shimmer shadow, because if you just put the plain shimmer shadow on there, it's not going to be super intense like I want it to be. I want to get the most shimmer out of it as I can. So when you wet your brush, it's definitely going to give you that effect. So I'm just going to wet my brush with some setting spray and dip into that shimmer shade. I'm just gonna pack that right onto the lid. Okay, so that doesn't even seem to be working that well, so maybe I will switch brushes. I'm just gonna use this little brush right here. This is from Sonia Kashuk. It's just a little smudge brush. And instead of spraying it, I'm actually gonna use this. This is something I used to do for the longest time, and I still do it from time to time because I feel like it works just as well spraying your brush. But back when I couldn't afford a setting spray, I actually did this. I honestly don't even know how I came across finding out that this works. But I just use some hydrocortisone, which is safe to use on your eyes anyway. And I get a little bit on my finger, not a lot at all, and I tap it where I want it. I don't use a ton, just enough to kind of wet the area that I want to put the product. And then I'm going to get some of that shadow and put it on the lid here. There we go. There we go. Much better. Okay, so to blend the shimmer shadow a little bit better with these shadows that we have in the outer corner, I'm just going to use the other side of that brush that we applied the shimmer shade with, so not the side that I applied the shimmer shade, but on the other side that's empty, on the other side that's clean, I'm going to just get a little bit of this shade right here, the one that we mostly packed on the outer corner, that shade Almond. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that, not a ton, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it a little bit in between where that shimmer shade is and the outer corner shade, just so it can look a little bit more blended and it's not just shimmer and then immediately goes into regular shadow. I'm going to go back into that shade Dubai and I'm going to pack on a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab an angle brush. This is the Lexi 215. It's just a little angled brush. And I am going to dip back into that dark shade. This is the shade Brick right here. I'm going to get a little bit and I'm going to press it into where I would normally put eyeliner at. I'm going to use this as my eyeliner and I'm going to go as close to my lash line as possible. I'm just going to press it in. I'm not going to drag it. I'm just going to press it in. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and curl the lashes and coat them with a little bit of mascara, and I'm just going to use my L'Oreal Original Voluminous Mascara, which is my favorite mascara to do this with. When you put on lashes, you don't need a ton of mascara, you just need something to make them nice and black so that they blend well with the lashes themselves. So today for lashes, I'm going to use the House of Lashes Tinkerbell lashes in the shade Just Wing It, and they're cut in half because with these lashes, I kind of just like to use the outer corner. They're a little bit more natural in the front, and then they get, you know, they wing out and are more dramatic on the outer corners. And since my lashes already are honestly about the same length, they're a little bit fluffier in here, but they're around the same as mine are anyway. So what I do is I cut them in half and I just use the outer corner to add a little bit more definition to my lashes. And if I have something super big and fluffy right here, it's going to cover up that pretty shimmer shade that we have in the lid anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these lashes and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I've applied my lashes, I'm going to go ahead and start with the rest of the face. So first I'm going to go in with my primer, and this is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer Radiance Primer. It looks like this. Now I'm going in with a matte foundation, a foundation that's super, super, super matte. So this isn't going to really make it look really radiant. It's not going to give me that much of a glow once I put my foundation on top. I just personally like the way that, oh, that's a lot. I just personally like the way that foundation blends over top of this primer here. Can you see how I added that glow to my skin? Well, you're not going to see it in a minute. So I'm Really going to be going in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation today. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M439 buffer brush to blend that out. I did just get a ton of sun, so it looks a little light for my skin right now. On camera, I feel like, but I feel like it's matching my neck all right. I might bring it down a little bit. Nothing we can't work with. Okay, so now moving on to concealer. Today I'm going to be using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And I'm just going to highlight under my eyes, cover up some dark circles. And also, oh, looks like I'm running out. I feel like, because most of the time I do use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, I feel like that concealer is definitely a dupe for this one. Because this concealer is, I think, about $30, and my Maybelline Fit Me concealer is about $6 or $7. So you can tell the huge difference there. Okay, so now that I have that concealer blended out, I'm going to go ahead and set that. I'm going to set that with my RCMA No Color Powder using my Morphe E4 brush right here. I'm just going to pat that into the skin, and I always make sure that I set my concealer. That way it doesn't move throughout the day or crease at all. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face. I'm going to use my Mercier translucent setting powder, and I'm going to go in with my Morphe B4 brush. It's just a nice little duo fiber brush. Just going to dip into that, and I'm going to try and just pat that for the most part. Whoa, that's a lot. Anyway, for the most part, I'm going to try and just pat that into the skin. I don't want to rub it a whole lot because I don't want to disturb the foundation. Next, we're going to go ahead and bronze and contour the skin. So I'm going to grab my Morphe R2 brush right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this to contour. So today I'm actually going to use my Sephora brand bronzer right here. It's just a little cool tone bronzer. I don't even know what it's called. It's in the shade Fiji. Contour the cheeks. And when you contour, always make sure that you follow the contours of your face. So if you have to, you can suck in and just follow where your natural bone structure is, and never go down towards, from your ear towards the corner of your mouth, but never all the way down, only about 75 to 80% of the way. Because if you go all the way down, then it's going to look a little crazy. You might look a little bit like the Joker. I'm going to go ahead and get those temples as well. Just places where shadows would naturally cast on your face. Okay, so I'm going to warm that up with a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to use my Butter Bronzer right here by Physicians Formula. You can get this at the drugstore, but it smells so good. It smells like you're on an island somewhere drinking out of a coconut. Which, believe it or not, I actually have done that, and coconut milk is disgusting. So I'm going over the same places where I originally contoured the skin. This, though, is going to help warm it up just a little bit, and also, if it was a little harsh, it's not going to make it as harsh. It's going to just help blend it out a little bit, and I used a bigger, fluffier brush to do that. So now on my forehead, I'm going to go back in with the brush that I set my under eyes with. I'm not going to add any more additional powder or anything. I'm just going to pat it just a little bit over those edges so that you can't see any harsh lines or anything like that from the bronzer. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off camera real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that my brows are done, we can go ahead and finish up with the eyes. And let me know if you want a little tutorial on how I do my brows. I'd definitely be happy to do that for you guys. I just don't know if that's something you want to see or not, but if it is, I will be happy to do that for you. Just comment down below if that's something that you want to see. So to finish up the eyes, I'm going to grab this brush right here. This is a Veramona shader brush. And I'm going to dip into these two shades right here. I'm actually going to mix these two, Beach and Naked, and I'm going to blend that out on the under eyes. Now I'm just going to grab this little detailed brush right here, and I'm going to dip into that darker brown shade in the palette, the shade Brick, and I'm just going to stamp that as close to my lash line as possible. And I'm not going to go all the way down though, maybe about 75% of the way. So I want the darkest to be on the outer corner. I'm just going to grab a little pencil brush to go ahead and blend that out a little bit. I'm not going to add any product, I just want to blend it a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and line the waterline. I'm going to use this liner right here. It's in the shade Chocolate Dream, and this is from M Cosmetics. I'm going to go ahead and just line the waterline with that. Okay, so now that I lined my waterline, I'm going to go ahead and coat my lower lashes as well. I'm going to use that same mascara that I used earlier, that L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. So now I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone in the inner corner. I'm just going to use this brush from Morphe. It's the M213. It's just this tiny little detailed brush. I'm going to use this little highlighting shade from the Kylie palette. This is the shade Penny. I'm going to pop that onto the brow bone. And highlighting the brow bone, this is actually going to give you the effect of a more lifted brow. I'm going to use that same shade and pop that into the inner corner. Okay, and I'm actually not going to use any blush today. I'm actually going to go straight into highlight. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with that shade we just highlighted our inner corner with. I'm going to grab this highlighting brush from Morphe. This is the M510. I'm just going to dip into that same shade. I'm going to highlight my cheeks with that. Just going to smile and hit the apples really, really well. And then blend a little bit back. This is one thing I love about makeup, is this that it's so universal that you can use anything for anything. There aren't technically any rules, so just because this is a shadow doesn't mean that I can't use this as a highlight or even a lip topper or anything like that. So I hit the nose as well. I'm going to get a little bit more back here. I'm going to pop a little bit up here, right above the brow bone. An upside down C shape, and then I'm going to blend it a little bit upwards. Ooh. And this is just going to make it so that when the sun catches your skin a little bit, it's just going to make it be extra glowy. I'm going to pop a little bit on the chin here, and a little bit on the Cupid's bow as well. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can go ahead and move on to lips here. And since I went ahead and used the Kylie palette, I actually grabbed one of my Kylie lipsticks as well. I just thought maybe it would pair nice together, and I actually haven't even used this one yet, so I'm super excited. So this is the collab that she did with her sister Khloe Kardashian, and this is from their Coco collection in the shade Chloe Money. It's just this super pretty nude. Okay, to go ahead and finish the look off, I'm going to use my Morphe Prep and Set spray, and this stuff is so amazing, you guys. I just bought it a little while back, and it is quickly became my favorite. And what this is going to do is it's going to make sure your makeup lasts all day long. It doesn't move at all. And also another thing it's going to do is when you use all these powders and these liquids, what it's going to make it do is it's going to make almost like the powders are sinking in with the liquids on your face, so that it's just one and it doesn't look like a powder is just sitting on top of your face. It settles into the foundation, which makes it look so nice and flawless. And it smells really good. Alright guys, and this is the finished look right here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you have any suggestions that you'd like me to film for you guys, make sure you comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!